Lori?
Oh my gosh! I never thought you'd be the one to find me. No offense. Nadine?
Nancy Drew.
Well, as you can see, I wasn't
case
really
closed.
spirited away by
We
ghosts
can
or
go
anything.
home.
That bookshelf in the dining car, you step on this thing in the floor in there, and it slides open. I practiced disappearing for weeks.
So it was just all for show?
Well, not entirely. See, here's the deal. My dad wound up with this train when he bought out Noram Shipping. They'd been storing it in this old warehouse outside St. Louis for so long that everybody had just forgotten about it. Anyway, after like mass begging on my part, Dad had the train restored to working condition and got me an engineer and track permits and all that other stuff until finally, here we are, on our way to find out what happened to Jake Hurley.
I think you were going to explain why you kidnapped yourself.
Oh, right. Well, see, I was one of the first people in like 100 years to set foot on this train, okay? Everything was just the way it was when Jake disappeared. Except, I also found this. It's a letter that Jake wrote in 1901 to his niece back east. He was real paranoid about claim jumpers, which is why he never told anyone where his mine was. But he was also afraid something would happen to him, and no one would ever know where it was. So he wrote this letter to his only living relative, Ruth Kensington. Here, take it.
You want me to have it? Why?
Because you found me. See, in that letter, Jake tells Ruth that everything she needs to figure out where his mine is on this train. He also warns her that his wife's spirit is on the train too, which kind of creeps me out. But the thing is, to find Jake's lost mine, we need the train.
How do you know this Ruth person didn't find the mine decades ago?
Mostly because I found that letter in the wastebasket. It was like she'd gotten so ticked off, trying to follow her nutty uncle's clues, that she finally said to heck with the whole thing.
So you want me to try to figure out where the mine is?
Uh-huh. As for the other people on board, if you want to show them that
Kill
letter,
them.
go ahead. It's totally up to you. We're going to Copper Gorge because that's where Jake buried Camille, so I figured his mine might be somewhere around there too. But if you think we need to go somewhere else, you just let me know and I'll have the engineer take us there.
Can we go for ice cream? McDonald's?
We have McDonald's at home.
Yourself?
Maybe I did. Or maybe I just thought letting other people try to find it would be a good excuse to throw a party. I like parties.
How well do you know your guests?
Well, I don't know you or those Harvey guys at all.
Hardy. Frank and Joe Hardy.
Whatever. I didn't know
Are we
John Gray
invited?
before this either, but I love his show, and I figured he'd jump at the chance to investigate an honest-to-goodness haunted train, and now that someone has finally found me, I can finally go meet him for real.
The Hardy Boys were invited onto the train. Nancy was not at first, but the Hardy Boys asked if they could bring her as a guest, and Lori said yes.
What about Tino Balducci?
I met Tino right after he got famous for solving those robberies. Inviting him here for this was a no-brainer. I mean, what an awesome detective. And those piercing eyes of his, you just know his mind's in there going 90 miles an hour.
How well do you know Charlena Purcell?
Yeah,
I just know her from her
fucking
books,
crashing into
which
a
are
wall.
So good. In fact, I just started reading her latest one, The Moon Tells No Lies. See, what I'd really like to do is write romance novels. Everybody who knows me says I'd be really good at it. In fact, a while back, I sent Charlena some ideas, you know, just to see what she thought.
And?
She hated them.
I'll come back later.
Keep me posted.
Wow. Oh, is this a word search?
Yeah. We have to find Algioic. There it is! Yeah, I don't think we can do anything with this yet. A lot of things that you can't do stuff with yet.
I bet I know what this is for.
Ah. Can do the pipes, the pipes.
Using it on your enemies? Oh, right.
Well, I guess we should go and tell everybody that we found Lori.
Or don't.
Whoa, did you see that fucking Dutch angle that they hit us with there? Hang on, let me... You see this? It's like kind of like lopsided, the camera.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck! It just occurred to me that on the way back here is when the spook is gonna happen.
Well, it's the little lady detective. What do you need?
I found Lori. She was hiding in the caboose.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he does not care.
She disappeared because she wanted to see who'd find her first, which is why she left that clue behind.
That slug? I mean, I knew that slug was a clue. That's why I gave it to you. I mean, I could have found Lori no sweat, but I thought,
yeah.
hey, why not give somebody else a shot? And you came through. Nice job.
Thank you.
From now on, if you come across anything that may have something
very
to do
much
with Jake
believes it.
Hurley in his mind, let me know, okay? Just so I can, give you advice, help you sort things out. After all, the opportunity to work side by side with a world-famous police detective doesn't come along every day, you know.
How did you and Lori meet?
We met at a party in New York. Nice girl. Not a lot upstairs, but nice girl.
Did you two go out?
Nope, no, never went out. No.
What do you think happened to Jake Hurley?
He probably died trying to work that mine of his all by himself. But I'll let you in on a secret. I'm onto something that could crack this case wide open.
What did you find?
Sorry, can't go into detail. Let's just say that thanks to yours truly, what happened to Jake Hurley won't be a mystery much longer.
Do you think I could take a closer look at that cougar statue?
What, that cigar clipper? Go ahead, take a look.
Whoa.
I'll bet I need this stone to build that thing in the diagram I found. But if I remove it now, Tina will know I'm onto something.
I heard that.
Interesting.
I'm sitting right
I
here.
just wanted to get a good look at it, that's all.
What else can I do for you?
Thanks for your help.
Anything for a fellow detective.
You know, we're forming somewhat of a camaraderie with him, at least.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna be best friends by the end of this.
I found Lori safe and sound in the caboose, so I guess those vibes you got about her being in serious trouble were wrong.
Strange. My vibes are never wrong. What's even stranger is I'm still getting them. So maybe they're not about Lori. Maybe they're about you.
I'm confused. Are you a scientist or a psychic?
I happen to be both.
I was about to
What's commonly
jokingly
referred to
say
as
both.
psychic phenomena is all a matter of energy. Just because we don't know where that energy is generated or how to measure it yet, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Trust me, either you or Lori is, or soon will be, in big trouble.
Pseudoscience aside, this guy is actually really cool. Like, I would probably hang out with this guy in real life. He just seems really chill.
No offense, but I don't believe you.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, I'll catch you later.
Goodbye.
Can
That tool I saw in the caboose. I bet that's what you used to unscrew these bolts.
we do this now, or is he gonna be like, oh, the microphones? Oh, we can't do it now. Okay.
How does the puzzle work?
When you turn like one of them, it like turns like a specific other ones, and you have to like get them all lined up with the
Oh, lined up with the
notch
lines, right?
on the outside. Yeah. Okay, I think I've just about got it though. I just do this and then
More
wha-bam.
pipes to connect.
Oh boy, I solve a puzzle and it gives
And
me
you're-
a new puzzle.
Your prize, more pipes.
Yay.
Why are they colored? Oh, that's why they're colored.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
Alright, that was pretty simple. A senior detective such as myself can handle that no problem.
Quiet.
What is that?
It's the bouncing lights, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that scared me so much as a kid.
Ah.
Yeah, I spent a few sleepless nights over that. I think we can go and talk to Ghost Man about that now.
What's up?
I saw a bunch of weird glowing lights outside the window of the sleeping car.
Really? Actually, I'm not surprised.
Charlena said Jake Hurley used to see them too, only he attributed them to his dead wife, Camille.
They're probably some form of piezoelectricity. See, my guess is quartz crystals in the ground are being compressed as the train passes over them, and the resultant voltage, called piezoelectricity, is manifesting itself as glowing lights, probably because of some quirk in the train shape or in the composition of the metals used in its construction. It was custom built, remember?
So it's a natural phenomenon, not a ghostly one?
Take it from me. Old Mother Nature is capable of some pretty scary stuff.
I won't keep you any longer.
Come back
Well, that
anytime.
sounds believable, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he actually had like a, you know, a real scientific explanation for them.
Better not mess with that puppy.
Aw, but it would be fun.
I mean, when I see a sleeping puppy.
Yes? I found Lori. She's in the
Yes.
caboose. You were right. She disappeared because she wanted to see which of us would find her first.
And you won. Congratulations.
I heard some noises.
Oh.
And it was my cat scratching at the door.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so we have a visitor now. She's definitely gonna jump on the desk at some point.
She gonna solve the mystery?
Oh, probably, yeah. She'll probably like walk across my keyboard and then it'll like hard cut to the credits of the game.
The others on the train, John Gray and that police detective, do you know them very well?
I don't know them at all. Needless to say, I don't.
John
watch
Gray is
television,
John
so I've
Green's
never even seen
evil
Mr. Gray before. Although I do know that
alternate
his
universe counterpart.
if you can
Yeah.
call it that, is rife with crackpots. As for Mr. Balducci, from what I've read, his success in solving those robberies was less a matter of talent and more a matter of being in the right place at precisely the right time.
In other words, you don't think he deserves all the attention he's getting?
No. You and those two Boy Scouts you're with would make better detectives. Is that all, dear?
We are
Did
better
you know that Lori
detectives,
wants to be
Yeah,
actually.
a
we are.
romance novelist?
Doesn't everyone?
I solved the mystery of the secret of Shadow Ranch, actually. Perhaps
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, I hadn't heard about that. Oh, well. It was a very high-profile case. You should look into it.
You also helped me with
Yeah,
it.
actually, yeah, you were involved. Surprised you don't remember it.
Have you discussed any of her ideas with her?
No. Could we please talk about something a little more pleasant?
Wow.
I'll let you get back to your writing.
That would be nice.
Hey, Nancy,
What's with the Cheshire Cat grin?
you found Lori.
Yep, she's holed up in the caboose. And as a reward for finding her, she let me have this. It's a letter from Jake to his niece in which he leaves clues telling her how to find his mine. Only the clues are extremely obtuse.
You found Lori.
I'd rather
you got
they
the
be
letter with all the
acute.
clues. Guess you don't need us anymore.
Oh, Joe, quit pouting. Want any help?
Are you kidding? You bet I do.
Now you're talking.
Balducci wants me to share everything I find out about Jake Hurley with him.
I'll bet he does.
He just doesn't want you to show him up again.
Yeah, he wants you to do all the legwork so at the last minute, bam, he can swoop in and grab all the credit.
I wouldn't tell him a thing, Nance.
Unless it's to get lost.
It stands to reason that the only person other than Jake who had to have known the location of Jake's mine was the engineer on Jake's train.
Very true.
Not necessarily. Jake might not have told him the exact location. Maybe he just had him drop him off somewhere nearby.
Well, still, we'd be way ahead of the game if we knew where that drop-off point was.
If the engineer had any surviving relatives, we may be in luck.
The guy died more than 100 years ago. How are we supposed to find out his name?
Maybe Charlena What's-Her-Face could tell us how to go about it.
Good idea, Frank. I'll ask her. I found a diagram for some kind of contraption that Jake designed, but to operate it, you need his pickaxe and some kind of lamp or lantern, which it looks like he gave to somebody named Buell.
Buell? Joe, show her!
Show her what?
That old picture we found!
Okay.
Oh, hello.
We found this
Yes.
on the bookshelf.
Hi.
See? Buell's Supplies
You
and
gonna solve
Pawn
the
Shop.
mystery?
That's gotta be the same Buell Jake
Huh?
gave his axe and lantern to.
Yeah, 100 years ago. And the guy was a pawnbroker, Frank. The stuff's probably long gone.
Or maybe it's still somewhere in Copper Gorge.
Well, that's where we're headed, so let's just hope for the best.
Right.
Talk to you later.
You know where to find us.
At this one table.
Sitting at the same table that
Yeah.
we'll never move from.
Engineer, this better be Miss Gerard.
actually...
Wow, he hates you.
Yeah.
More questions?
How would I go about finding out the name of Jake's train engineer?
If you're smart, you'd ask me. And because my work is going surprisingly well, during my next break, I'll log onto my archives at home and see what I can turn up.
That'd be great, thank you.
Whoever invented the cellular modem, that's whom you should thank, dear.
I'll touch bases with you later.
Let me know if you run across anything juicy.
Oh, actually, you know what? I probably
The 3rd
should
of
actually...
November 1901 from
look at
somewhere
this.
in Colorado. Dear Ruth,
Lore.
I know that we've never met, but now that your father, my estranged brother, is gone,
I'm disappointed
you're
that they
my
don't
only
have,
living
like,
relative.
you
I
know,
am writing to you to tell
some
you
guy
about my mind before
narrating
I
this,
too
like,
depart
as
this
if he's
earth,
Jake
and
Hurley,
its location
like in the
is
last
lost
game.
forever. I cannot tell you outright where it is, lest this epistle fall into the wrong hands. But with the information which follows, and with my train, which shall be yours upon my death, I promise that you'll be able to find it. First, you will need a map. To obtain it, know that my travels have taken me all over this great country, to towns which can be difficult to find, to Calico, Silverado, and Central City, to Dodge City, Virginia City, and Tombstone. To locate the mine on the map, you'll need my projector. When it comes to placing the stones, you'll need to ask someone who holds a warm place in my heart. I have stored his name accordingly, but to retrieve his name, you'll have to give the dolls an order. This will require looking inside Camille's dancing shoes for the name of their maker, and wearing the shoes as you perform her favorite
But
step.
before you wear the shoes, you have to complete the contraption by rolling the ball down the path. That'll knock over the dominoes.
But alas,
You
she's
have
taken them
to
with her her
assemble the
grave.
Dragon
So go
Balls.
to Copper Gorge, Colorado,
Before
and
you do that,
and
you
let
have
some
to
of her
read
goodness rub off on
the
you.
entire
I promised Camille that this train would always be your home. In return, she
work of
promised to
Charles
never leave,
Dickens, and then
indeed
you'll
she never
understand
has.
what to do.
People say I'm
Yeah.
crazy, but I've seen her and heard her and feel her presence on the train even today, 20 years after her untimely death. So above all else, my dear niece, let nothing happen to my train. It holds wonderful things. Kindest regards, Jake Hurley.
I don't know if we can grab this gemstone yet. Oh, we can. Okay. Yeah, I guess he's kind of preoccupied over here. Looking at a notebook, I guess. Oh yeah, you wrote that thing down. We can do this thing now.
Orange.
Okay. Okay.
Blue. Green.
Green.
Red. Purple.
Purple.
Yellow. There you go.
Cool.
Wilson Carbide
Oh
and
boy, I'm not reading all that. Send you 2 lamps, which you should receive by the end of the month. When you get them, simply place carbide in the lower chamber, water in the upper chamber, then use the built-in flint lighter to ignite the jet of gas which results. As you'll see, this creates coffee. Carbide lamp is an exceedingly practical device, especially by people in your dark and dangerous line of work. Would that you or I had invented it. In your last letter, oh my gosh, which you sounded quite despondent, old chum. Oh, okay, hang on. In your last letter, you sounded quite despondent, old chum. I suppose this is understandable in view of your failure to strike it rich. But I am living proof of how quickly misfortune can turn into good fortune. Little did I suspect 5 years ago that my attempt to produce aluminum would instead produce calcium carbide, or that calcium carbide, when placed in water, would release acetylene. Yet suddenly I was the surprised but happy owner of the patent for an inexpensive way of manufacturing an extremely flammable gas. Just as I became wealthy when I sold that patent, I have no doubt that you too will someday be handsomely rewarded
Thomas Wilson.
for your effort. Continue to keep me apprised of your adventures, dear friend, and never ever give up. May the lamps I send you light your way, soon light your way to the goal you seek. Always your friend, Thomas Wilson. Okay.
looks like a pattern for some kind of dance step. Maybe I'd better keep this.
Yes, please do keep this, because there's no way I'm remembering this shit.
So I guess you could do the dance puzzle now if you wanted to.
Yeah, I can do the dance puzzle, I can do the word search puzzle, well, we just did the color wheel puzzle.
That must be the projector Jake mentioned in his letter to Ruth. I need a lamp.
What is the
If I had a
projector?
spyglass, I'd put it right here.
I guess we put the lamp here and the spyglass here, and that makes a projector.
Ah.
Whoa! Somebody must have thrown the emergency brake.
The question is,
Sus.
did somebody throw the brake? Or something?
Sabotage.
Oh, Joe, now you sound like Lori.
Hey, I was the first one on the scene, and I saw no one.
Who was the next person on the scene?
John Gray. Then Balducci came bursting through one door while Frank and the engineer came through the other. Boy, was that guy ticked. He said the train could have derailed. He reset the brake, muttered a few choice words, then headed back to the engine just as you and Lori showed up.
Everybody was there except Charlena. I don't think she left her laptop the whole time.
Completely unbothered. I've got a deadline to
element.
reach. Yeah, staying in
Do you
her
think
lane.
she could have thrown the brake and snuck back to her laptop without your seeing her?
Not likely, but possible, I guess.
The question is, why? What did she or anybody else stand to gain by stopping the train?
Answer? Nothing. Which is why I think we should at least consider the possibility that something less human in nature may be at work here.
Ah, Joe.
I'm going to see if Balducci's done dusting for fingerprints. Catch you later.
Maybe it's a ghost.
Oh!
More questions?
Would you like to see the letter that Lori gave me as a reward for finding her?
The one
Like
in which
school?
No.
Jake Hurley supposedly tells his niece how to find his lost mine? No, thank you. I happily leave it to you to try to solve the mystery of his disappearance. You can afford to look foolish, dear. I can't.
Oh.
Wow.
Do you have a theory as to who pulled the emergency brake?
Well, I know it wasn't me. I assume it wasn't you, and I highly doubt it was Lori. So that leaves those two friends of yours.
She's kind of
Mr.
spitting
Gray and Mr.
like
Balducci.
bars there. Well, I know it wasn't me, and I know it wasn't you.
And I highly doubt it was Lori. I'm beginning to feel like a rap god.
What do you think their motive was?
I don't
Yo.
know about your friends, but perhaps those other two simply thought it would be fun. Boys will be boys.
Were you able to find the name of Jake's train engineer?
I came across 3 references to the fact that Jake had an engineer, but I'm afraid none of them included his name. I failed. Sorry.
Aren't you even going to try finding out what happened to Jake Hurley?
No time. The only reason I haven't insisted that Lori release me from all this silliness is there's always the possibility that what happened to him has the makings of a bestseller, although I highly doubt it.
Why are you so sure that Jake's story wouldn't make a bestseller?
His story is an all too common one. A man wanders off into the desert in search of gold and never returns. Why? He either doesn't have enough food or water, or he encounters hostile natives.
But why was his train found out in the middle of nowhere with just the dead engineer on board?
That does make the story a little more interesting. My guess is the engineer got tired of waiting for Jake to return, took off in the train to get help, and died of a heart attack along the way. After which the
The
train
animator
rolled
died of
and
a heart
stopped in
attack.
Blue Moon Canyon. Anyone experienced enough to single-handedly run a steam engine would have been quite a bit older than Jake.
What do you think happened to Camille?
She probably died of something mundane like pneumonia or even measles. Now, if it was wintertime when she died, and they were in the mountains, Jake no doubt kept her body on the train for months before he buried her, which is rather delicious in a morbid sort of way.
Okay.
I should get going.
All
Oh.
right, then.
What's up?
So are you making any progress in here?
Oh yeah, not only am I getting some real unusual EMRs, that's electromagnetic readings, but take a look at this.
You've got something?
I set up a camera and took some time-lapse photos. Sometimes I was in the room, sometimes I wasn't, but somewhere along the line, I managed to get a shot of Camille.
Where? You don't mean that little blob, do you?
Yep, that's Camille.
She's beautiful.
Hey?
You're skeptical. That's cool. Just remember, the key word when it comes to ghostly phenomena is energy. That blob is the result of Camille's residual life force, spirit if you will, reacting with the chemicals in the photographic paper.
Couldn't it just be a flaw in the photographic paper?
Okay, it could be that too, but it's not.
Wow.
Trust me.
Thanks for the chat.
Come back anytime.
You're sure it's not piezoelectricity? What is it called?
Piezoelectricity.
Thank you. Sure it's not pie?
Pizza pie electricity.
Mamma mia.
Sickly Sarah caught a germ so new it made one of her pretty green eyes turn blue.
Okay.
Those packing peanuts?
Yeah. Tino, my man. Oh.
Oh, there's more packing peanuts.
Perhaps Jonathan was in this room.
Jonathan!
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Haha, Jonathan!
Glad you dropped in. Lori told me she'd given you a letter from Jake Hurley that says how to find his mine.
I didn't mention it before because it's very bizarre.
Lori should have given that to me. I mean, I'm the trained professional around here. Let me take a look.
Whoa. I'm a trained professional in
I've seen enough.
psychically floating paper across the...
Useless. Those are just the rannings.
Useless.
Way too much of his life swirling mud around in pans under the hot sun. 5-star nut job.
Lori says she found this letter in a wastebasket.
Exactly where it belongs.
Did you find any fingerprints on the emergency brake handle?
None that ready hell, thanks to Casey Jones up there. I told the old geezer not to touch anything, but he went and got his big, fat, oily paw prints all over the place. If we didn't need him to drive the train, I'd charge him with obstruction of justice.
Did you do anything else besides look for fingerprints?
Of course. As a matter of fact, I found this. Probably fell out of the perp's pocket while he was yanking on the handle.
Looks like some kind of thermometer.
Yeah, like the kind a certain ghost hunter uses on that bogus show of his.
You think John Gray threw the brake? But why would he do that?
Because they're thinking about axing his show, that's why. I checked with this buddy of mine in L.A. Gray's got to come up with something real big real soon, or he's toast. And you can't get much bigger than a train with a spooky past that's prone to strange accidents, now can you?
Have you confronted John with your suspicions?
All in due time. I always like to get my ducks in a row before I make an arrest.
Do you think they got Danny DeVito to voice this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Secret of Shadow Ranch
They could afford him,
a
probably.
huge hit. Yeah, yeah.
You're going to arrest him?
Hey, the train could have derailed. We're talking reckless endangerment, attempted assaults, maybe even attempted murder. John Gray wanted publicity. That's exactly what I'm gonna give him.
Hope I didn't take up too much of your time.
Helping people's what I'm all about.
Wait, do I...
Arson.
Oh, okay, I just took some of... I didn't take the container, I just took some of the things in it, okay. Also, I like how Nancy's like, you know, oh, we can't get the gemstone out of the cigar thing or he'll know we're up to something, but we can just walk into the, like, area right behind him, take the stuff out of the container, and then walk out like like it's nothing.
I mean, Tino doesn't seem to be the most observant detective in the world, so
Yeah.
I'm sure we were very subtle about it.
All about